komunikację.
O,
Teraz
teraz, dobra. I transmisja Facebook. Niech nas zobaczą, niech usłyszą. Dobra. I to mamy tutaj strona, która tutaj i mamy. Dobra. Powinno iść. Mamy to? Chyba mamy. Dobrze. No to dobry wieczór wszystkim. Na degustacji rum Centenario rumów z Kostaryki. Rumów, które, słuchajcie, mam nadzieję, że dzisiaj nam Miguel trochę je odczaruje. Zresztą tak z nim też rozmawiałem, żeby tak poprowadził tę degustację, abyśmy może nie tyle z powrotem uwierzyli, co rzeczywiście spojrzeli na markę troszeczkę z innej perspektywy, tak? Więc zobaczymy, co nam dzisiaj Miguel opowiada o marce. E, e, Wiecie co, ja chyba też nie będę tak do końca przedłużać, tak? Mamy Miguela, on opowie nam o tym wszystkim. My sobie potem dopowiemy na tak zwanym after party, ewentualnie co tam o tym sądzimy i na ile to wszystko było wiarygodne, więc lecimy z tym kursem. Okay, Miguel, the time is yours. One more thing. When you will have in your presentation a time when you want to talk to us without presentation, you can stop sharing this because on Facebook we see only the page of presentation, not you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you have some space to talk. Just stop sharing, and after that you can do that again. Okay?
Okay, perfect.
Thank you very much. Okay,
no, my pleasure, and thank all of you for this space, for your time. I'm very happy. We actually had to do some arrangements because I'm not in Costa Rica at the moment, but I always travel with my rum, so the rum is not a problem, and we are very happy to share with you more information about the brand, how the rum is produced, and all the details that you want to ask. At any moment, please, if anybody wants to ask me something or do a comment on any subject that you want, please don't hesitate. Just talk, and I will stop talking, and then you can ask wherever you want. It's no problem. You don't have to wait until the end. Let's make it more like a conversation than an actual class itself. I will show a presentation of the brand. It's very graphic, but all this information that I'm about to show you in the first part of the presentation is available in our website, which is runcentenario.com, in a more interactive way. So all the technical details of the product, the history of the brand, everything is on our website. It's a new website. We just launched it 1 month ago, so it's very fresh, the information and everything. So you can also go to that site in order to know more about the product and to have the content of the presentation, because the presentation that I have is very heavy, so I cannot send it by email. I have to send it by a link and you download it, but on the website you can find everything. So let me just share my my screen here, Masterclass. Let's share the screen better. All right, so okay, so everybody is seeing right now the presentation?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, perfect. So Ron Centenario, the rum of Costa Rica. This is something that we are very proud of, and we always put emphasis on the fact that we are the rum of Costa Rica because we are actually the only rum in Costa Rica. Ever since Centenario became #1 rum in sales in Costa Rica, there's been some attempts by different companies to produce rum in our country, but due to the fact that Centenario is very strong in the mind of the Costa Rican people, some of them finds very difficult to success in this kinds of endeavors. So we're currently basically the only rum of the country. There is some producers, very small ones, but nothing that it's like, how can I say this? Like it has a great participation in the market. So Centenario is considered the rum of Costa Rica. Um, so I cannot do this to move. Okay. Okay. So some fun facts about the country. We're very small in terms of land. I actually don't have at the moment the comparison with Poland, but we're very, very, very small. I think I had it, and it was like we are 4 times smaller than Poland. But even if we are such a small country, 5% of the biodiversity of the world lives in our country. And that's a key fact for our brand because we are considered the rum aged by nature. I will explain a little bit more about what does it mean to be the rum aged by nature. But that's one of the biggest facts that we always share. 5% of the biodiversity of the world lives in our country. We don't have any army ever since 1948. Uh, in that moment, in that year, Costa Rica had a civil war, and when the war was finished, the winner, the winner party, they decided to abolish the army and dedicate all that money to education and health. So we have a public education and health system. You can actually have a PhD degree in university without paying any money at all. And it's a very high quality education. And in terms of health, also we have one of the best health systems around the world. And a fun fact that we were the third city in the world to have electricity, even though we were such a small country. Is something that not everybody knows about our country, but it's very, very interesting for us. In terms of history, okay, our company was founded in 1969. I started this line of history in 1979 because that was actually when Centenario was born. 10 years earlier, in 1969, the company was born, but the company was not called Centenario. We were basically a Seagram's subsidiary in Costa Rica. And when the company was established, Seagram's, which was a huge spirits and liquor corporation around the world, they gave us the license to produce two products. One was a very standard rum. It was called Ron Rico. We still produce it actually. And the other one was a triple still vodka called Nikolai. Um, we have the license to produce those products. They were Seagram's products. Now they belong to other companies. We still produce it, by the way. But in 1979, some of the Seagram's distilleries in Scotland, they enter in a process of crisis. And due to that crisis, they went to the Scottish government in order to ask permission to send cask full of whiskey outside Scotland to be bottled. So they got the permission. It was only for 2 years, and they start um, doing an assessment of which countries should they choose. And they choose two countries in which Seagram's had operation at the moment. One was Brazil, and the other one was Costa Rica. And the reason why they choose Costa Rica is because the facilities where Centenario is and Centenario were at the moment are deep into a zone that we call in Spanish, I don't know in English, corredor biológico. It's like a biological zone with a very deep forest, very close to a volcano, the biggest volcano in Costa Rica, actually. And that property was surrounded by two rivers, two main rivers in our capital. So all the elements of the environment in our facilities were proven to be very ideal for whiskey storage. So they choose us and they send us 22,000 casks full of whiskey, Scotch whiskey from the different regions in Scotland. And from 1979 to 1981, we were bottling that whiskey. One of the biggest brands that we were bottling at the moment was Passport Scotch. I know that Passport Scotch at the moment doesn't have like the best of reputations, but back in the day, back in 1979, it was one of the most popular Scotch whiskies around the world, and we were bottling that. And in 1981, when we finished that process, nobody in Scotland asked for the cask. Nobody called or sent a postcard or something saying, hey, please send us the cask back. So we had 22,000 casks in our facilities, completely empty. And that's when we had the idea of producing our own rum in a more premium way using a Scotch whiskey cask, which was not um, like the choice for the rum producers. Every rum producer, and still in the actual day, they only use bourbon cask or cherry cask or brandy cask or cognac cask, but few distilleries. I think I know only one use Scotch whiskey barrels, and those barrels provide a different profile of flavor to the rum. I will talk about more later. But then we did the first batch of aging in 1981. In Costa Rica, by law, a product can only be called rum if it has 2 years of aging. So after 3.5 years, we decided to bottle the first batch, and it was called Centenario Añejo Especial. We released that in 1985. That picture of the bottle that you can see in the screen is a picture of the first bottle that Centenario ever sold. And we didn't have any age statement at the moment. It was only 2.5 years. But that product became later on in the history Centenario 7 years. At the moment, it wasn't 7 years because it was only 3.5 years. But when we start having more years in the aging cellar, we start to developing different products. For example, in 1994, we released Centenario Conmemorativo, which later on became Centenario 9. And in 2004, we start putting the ages on the labels. Our company started growing. We start to have more and more years of aging rum, so we have more options to bottle our rum. And in 2007, we start our process of exporting the product outside Costa Rica. So the first exports were to the United States and Germany, which today they are our biggest markets around the world. And exactly 30 years after we had the first batch of aging, if you do the math, from 1981 to 2011, we released Centenario 30, which is at the moment our oldest rum. And of course, we had to wait 30 years to have a 30-year-old rum. Even if it's Solera, we still have a big portion of the liquid to be 30 years. I will explain that also later with more detail. And in 2017, we released our seal, which is Aged by Nature. And what we explain in Aged by Nature is all the transformation that our liquid has by the natures of two environments. First, the Scottish environment, because we still only use Scotch whiskey cask for the aging process. We still, when we need cask, we bring them from Scotland. And then that flavor that the Scottish nature give to the cask, we use it in our nature in Costa Rica to complete the transformation of our rum, surrounded by two rivers, by the biological corridor, the rainforest, very close to the volcano, the biggest volcano in Costa Rica, which is named Irasu. And another very important fact is that we have our own water well, 100 meters deep, with water filtered by volcanic rock. So very premium, clear water that we use for the dilution of the rum, for anything that involves the production of Centenario. This is a video. I don't know if I need to click a button to share also the sound. So please let me know if you can hear it. Can you hear it or just the video?
No, only video.
Only video. So let me, okay, share sound over here. Okay, so back.
Oh, yeah. We hear the sound.
That's our video of Age by Nature, which is our biggest concept around the brand. Something that is very important to mention is that in the first part of the video, the rivers, the forest, and everything you saw is inside our facilities. It's not like we went to forest far away from from our company and start recording stuff. It's all in-house. I hope someday you guys come visit Costa Rica, and if you do, please send me an email or something, and I will help you to go to our facilities and get to know the brand. The only thing I need, because it's not open to the public, is that hopefully I'll be in Costa Rica when you go, because otherwise it will be a little bit complicated to enter. But that's our biggest asset is nature, is what transform a raw spirit into the actual rum. And the other thing is, at the end you saw a logo that says Esencial Costa Rica. So Esencial Costa Rica is the brand of the country. It's sponsored by the government, And when a company gets that brand, usually it means that we are ambassadors of Costa Rica also. So I'm in the position that I'm not only ambassador of Ron Centenario, but also ambassador of Costa Rica, which makes me very proud. And also our brand is ambassador of the country. Um, this is Susana Macis. She is our master blender. She's been our master blender for 32 years now. I need to update this slide. It says 31 years, but it's 32 years. She's a chemical engineer and she's been working forever with the company. She's very famous in the rum world. She had trainings in Scotland and a lot of distilleries around the world. Always about the blending of spirits, the aging process. She is our manager for operations. So everything that has to do with the production of the rum, she's in charge of. And she's the one that develops the formulas for each of the products. So is one of the best trained nurses that I know around the world. She's amazing, amazing, amazing. And of course we are very proud. I mean, our rums in some occasions have won very important awards around the world. So basically it's an award also for her because she's the one that develops each of the product that Centenario produces. This is me. I usually don't show this slide very much, but since it's the first time we met, I'm the global brand ambassador of Ron Centenario. I graduated the European Bartender School because I used to be a bartender a long time ago. I was a bartender in Costa Rica for 10 years almost. I used to have my own bar. My early education was in mixology. That I went to the University of Costa Rica and I studied international relations. So my first jobs was with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the country. Then I found out that politics is not for me. And I fell in love of rum. I fell in love of spirits in general. And I decided to quit that and go behind the bar and make cocktails for a living. And well, that I think that paid off very nicely. And that's it. We are going now to enter the production process and all the technical details of our brand. Is there any questions so far, or is everything good?
Anyone have any questions?
Okay, good.
Okay, let's go.
Perfect. So, okay. First thing we need to understand about Costa Rica is the law. And in Costa Rica, by our constitution, not even law, this is by constitution. So changing this will mean that we need to change our constitution. Only the state can do the distillation process. So we cannot actually have our own column stills and our own pot stills, and we need to buy directly from the government all the raw materials that we use for the aging process. But since we were the first company in the history of Costa Rica of producing rum, since 1981, we developed a very good relationship with the company of the government that does the distillation, which is called FANAL. In the second part of the presentation, I will show you more about that. And basically what happens is that we develop on paper all the technical details of how do we need the fermentation process and the distillation process to be conducted in order to have in our facilities the raw spirits that we need. So in that process, we ask the government to do the fermentation process using two raw materials. The first one will be molasses, and the second one will be sugarcane juice. So usually in the rum industry, but now that's changing, but traditionally you either use molasses or some sort of molasses like honey molasses or something like that, or you use sugarcane juice like the French islands in the Caribbean. We decided to use both to give more complexity, more flavor, and more body to the fermented mash. And then we asked the government to conduct that fermentation process for at least 96 hours or 4 days in order to get a lot of body, a lot of complexity on the liquid that will go through the distillation process. So it's not the longest fermentation in the industry, but surely it's not the shortest one. It's a very decent time of fermentation. It's conducted at 37 degrees, so we don't have any bacteria or something like that. And then when we have that distillation, we will divide the fermented mash into portions. And one portion will go to a pot still to generate heavy rum, very high on esters, uh, very high on congenerates, and a lot of chemical elements that provide the liquid with a lot of sensations, a lot of smells, a lot of flavors. After the fermented mash goes through the pot still twice, we get a product that has at least 30% of the final flavors and smells. And the other part of the fermented mash will go to a column still. You will see later on the column still of the government is huge. It's very tall, and it has 9 columns. So after that process happens, we basically had a neutral alcohol, 96% alcohol, no esters, nothing, only 10% of the final smell and flavor of the liquid comes out of the column. So as you can see, the pot still will have an evolution process on the cask, in the cask, sorry, and the light drum that comes out of the column still will have more like a transformation process. So they're two very different raw materials, and we age it separate. We don't mix it until the aging process is finished. Once we get that, we will receive the liquid in our facilities, and Doña Susana, as you can see on the picture, will review that everything is according to what we ask. She will conduct a review of the liquid, and then before we put it inside the cask, we have to lower down the alcohol content because otherwise the angel share process will be very high. So the rums will lower down on alcohol in between 55 and 60% in order to have an angel share that it won't be more than 4% per year. So in Scotland, they have approximately 2% per year. And in the rest of the Caribbean, the distilleries have between 8 and 10%. We only have 4%. The lower down alcohol help us a lot, but also another thing that helps us a lot is the fact that we are surrounded by a very humid environment, 96% humidity approximately per year, surrounded by a lot of trees and forests, and the temperature in Costa Rica is approximately around the year 26, 27 degrees. In our facilities is 23, between 22 and 23. So we have a lower temperature than the rest of the country, approximately, and a lot of humidity levels. So we managed to get only 4% of angel share process. And when she does that, when she reviews the rum and lower down the alcohol level, we select which region of Scotland are we going to use for each of the rums. Because I'm sure you know, depending on the region in Scotland that you are aging the whiskey will get different notes, different kinds of flavors. So in general terms, if you are producing in a Speyside, you will get fruity and floral notes on your whiskey, highlands, fruity nuts and spices, lowlands, very fresh, very herbal whiskeys. And then in Isla, you get peated, smoky, and marine flavors. So that character, that personality of the liquid, it's inside the cask. So when we use cask from a Speyside, some of those flavors will go into our rum. So if Doña Susana wants to produce a very fruity and floral rum, she will use the majority of the cask from a Speyside. or highlands if she wants a little bit more spicy, or lowlands if she wants very fresh and herbal notes. So that's how we formulate the products. We choose the region of Scotland in which we want to age the rums, and then we just have to wait for the aging process. So in terms of aging, our aging cellar is located in a city called Kubridabad. It's now in the center of the city. It's a very centric location. But since 1969, only trees that been, I don't know, sick or put in danger any human life are being cut down. So very few trees have cut down from our facilities. Everything is basically the same that it was in 1969. It's 8 hectares of land, so it's a lot of land over there, 80,000 square meters. And inside our facilities and surrounding our aging cellars, we conduct bird counts, and we have counted more than 40 different species of birds living surrounding the aging cellar. So a lot of fruity trees living in our facilities. So we have basically two aging process. The first one will be the traditional aging process. So in the traditional aging process, we basically what we do is that we have to wait. If we are going to produce a 7-year-old rum, we have to wait 7 years. There is no other way. But the difference between us and others is that the column still rums and the pot still rums will go in different cask. And when the aging process is finished, then we do a blend. So this process is only for our rums that goes from 4 years to 12 years. So for example, the amount of live rums present in the 7-year-old rum is not the same than the 12 or the 9. Each of the products has different proportions between heavy rums and light rums. And when the process is finished, we will do the blending. We will use the mineralized water by reverse osmosis in order to down the alcohol level down to 40 if it goes outside Costa Rica. And inside Costa Rica, we bottle at 35% because the law allows us to do so. And then we bottle and we send the whiskey out to the market. And that's the traditional aging process. For Centenario 20, Centenario 25, 30, and Real that I know that you guys have there, we use something that we call the continuous barrel aging process, or the Solera system. But as you can know, we can no longer use Solera as a name of process in our labels, so we changed the name to continuous barrel aging process. But the process is basically the same. So basically what we have is a pyramid of cask. The base is what we call Solera. We will put there the oldest rums. And as we go up in the pyramid, we will put younger and younger rums. So uh, as a internal law that we have in Centenario, for the Soleras, we are only going to use the best that we have from the traditional aging process. So we start our Soleras in a very high age, between 10 and 12 years, and then we go down and down in older and older rums. And what we do is extraction of the liquid, and we fill each of the lower levels in a cascade way until we get to the Solera. And something that is very important is that when we get to the Solera, we only use 25% of the liquid to bottle the rum. Which is most important of this process is that as we have an angel share that is very high in terms of, for example, Scotland, each of the levels as we go down has a lower alcohol level. So when we extract liquid from the upper level and put it on the next level, what we are doing actually is increasing the alcohol content of the level that is receiving the rum. And in that way, the liquid inside the cask is able to extract more flavors and more smells than he was doing before. So as we go down and down, filling up each of the levels, the complexity of the liquid becomes very, very high. And that's why you feel a huge difference when you're tasting, for example, Centenario 12, and you jump to 20 or 25. You can see that the consistency of the liquid is very different. The smells are also more complex. The liquid feels more thick, more silky, more creamy, and that's because the Solera provides that, and that's we use it. So something that in the rum category is a little bit more like people always criticize the fact that we use Soleras is because since we have very different climates from other parts of the world, if we do not try to contrast the effect of the angel share process, uh, we could be producing a very expensive product. So that's one of the main reasons that we use the Solera system. And when we finish this process, we go to a blending and filtering process. This is very standard procedure, actually. Demineralized water by reverse osmosis, chill filtering, and only in one case, which is the Centenario White, that we don't export because it's too expensive to produce. We use activated charcoal in order to eliminate the color of the liquid, but the liquid still has 4 years of aging process. And this is basically how our lineup looks like. So I'm actually very jealous of you because I can see that you guys have Centenario Real. I don't have Centenario Real. I actually need to ask Susa or somebody at the Spirits Depot how much is a bottle cost, because I want to buy one next month when I go to Poland, because this product was a huge success in Costa Rica. The inventories last nothing. It's not longer available. We do not produce it anymore. So it's a very unique and a special liquid that you guys have. And over here, you will only see our main portfolio. So another thing that you are not seeing over here is Centenario 1985 because it's limited edition. And also Centenario 18, which was also limited edition. You don't see here. And the reason why you don't see Centenario Real is because we don't have it anymore. So I don't show it. Actually, I had to look down a lot in order to get the technical details of Centenario Real, because the last time I did a tasting with Centenario Real was 4 years ago. It was a long time ago, but we will do it. Don't worry.
Miguel,
And
I
yes.
think I will keep one sample for you when we meet in Poland next
Oh,
week.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. And that's it. Before we enter the tasting process, I don't know if we have questions, comments, or something. No? Okay. So I will move forward some slides. This is basically an explanation of how the tongue works, more on like a serious and professional tasting, but I know you know the basics: sweetness on the front, sour on the side, on the back and the center, the bitterness, and in the very tip, the saltiness, and then you get the umami all around the tongue. Uh, and then we have, of course, Centenario Cafe. We are not tasting it. All this information that you can see about the aromas and the flavors, you can look for that in the website. I don't want to keep you that much with this information, so I will jump to Centenario 12, which is our first liquid of the tasting. So what I'm going to do is to explain how a general tasting for approving a batch of production works in Centenario, because it's very different of what we are used to do in our regular basis. So basically, when we have a tasting in Centenario, is to approve a batch production. So one of the members of the team that does that process and is chosen randomly, because we need to change it every time. He needs to set up the room, and that room cannot be cleaned by any product that has smells or something of the sort. And then he will get the, the glasses, a little bit more like this glass, and then he will mark the glass on the base. And on the base, he will put a code, because the tasting is blind tasting. The objective of the taste is that we have a match between the smells and the flavors in our database, in order to say, okay, we are producing Centenario 9 and it is the same as the batch before. So we only get 5 opportunities to do the smelling and 3 opportunities to do the tasting, because after that, the tongue gets saturated on flavors and smells. So you actually cannot identify nothing after that. And most importantly, we do the tastings at 20 degrees, at 20 alcohol degrees, because at 40 it's too much alcohol to actually identify flavors. So what I'm going to do now is pouring a little bit of Centenario in my glass. We do always like an ounce of portion in order to have a lot of liquid in the glass and try to analyze a lot of things. And the first thing that we do is to look at the product and try to identify on the eye, what can we see? Is the product has a nice color, is completely clear liquid, or you have some solid particles on it? All of those things are indicators of the quality process of the production. Also, we look at how the liquid interacts with the crystal, if the liquid looks thick or not thick, if it has great body complexity. You can see the legs, if they come down slowly or very fast, and try to analyze a lot of things regarding the quality of the liquid itself. That's the first part. The second part will be on the nose. So we are going to, with very careful, we are going to close up the cup into our nose and try to identify what kind of flavors we remember from this product. So if we look at the screen, you will see that in Centenario 12, we have a pleasant aroma of ripe fruits and wood, but also you get a lot of vanilla notes. We only put like the most, how can I say this? The most present aromas on our technical details, but it's more than that. And I'm sure that you can identify more different flavors and smells. But to me, the most present are vanilla, ripe fruits, and of course, wood. I don't know if somebody wants to share a different profile of nosing. Okay, if not, then we go to the tasting. I'm pretty sure that some of you already tasted, so I will still conduct it how we do it in Centenario. So the first thing that we do is to try to acclimate the tongue a little bit. So we put some drops on the liquid on the tongue. The objective of this is to start salivation process in the mouth, get the mouth very liquid, and then we do the actual taste of the liquid. When we do the actual taste, let me just pause sharing so you can see me. Okay, so when we do the actual taste of the liquid, something that is very important is to let the liquid have an evolution process in the mouth. Don't swallow it right away. You need to let the liquid move through your tongue from the tip to the back, side to side, move it very nicely. Don't do it like you are washing your teeth. It's more like very smooth kind of movement. Leave it in your mouth, I don't know, for like 10, 12 seconds. And then when you swallow it, do it very slowly. And when you have the product in your belly, you try to blow through your mouth like this. and you will feel the very different sectors of the tongue getting activated by the oxygen. So it's the opposite when we do wine tastings. When we do wine tastings, because we have a lower alcohol level, we get oxygen in. In this case, we need to get the oxygen out so we don't get saturated again. So I will do it myself. Mhm, 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 mhm. And we blow, and you get that sensations. It's like itching on the tongue, and you get the savory, you get all the notes of the liquid. So in this case, I feel a lot of caramel, a very sweet liquid, but silky at the same time. So it's not harsh on you. I get now the wood and the vanilla as I'm speaking. Another thing that I'm detecting while I'm speaking is that the product has a lot of evolution once you taste it. So you start with the sweetness and the caramel, and then you move to the vanilla sensations, and then you finish with the wood sensations at the end, and you identify that it has a lot of aftertaste. Uh, it's been, I don't know, 30, 40 seconds since I tasted it, and I still have a lot of sensations in my mouth. So I would love to ask if anybody wants to share what the experience was with these 12 years.
A few words. It's very, very sweet for me. Do you add some sugar to the fluid or it's natural sweetness?
Yes, in most of our liquids, or let's say all of them, we have some sugars added. The one that has more is actually 20. And in 20, we had, I think is, if I'm not mistaken, 9.5 grams of sugar per liter. So we are way below the 20 grams maximum that the law allows. Uh, but most of the sweet, I mean, the sweetness in these liquids is a combination of the fact that we add that little bit amount of sugar and the fact that the 4 days fermentation, mixing molasses and mixing sugarcane juice brings up the sweetness of the rum itself. So it's a combination of both. But in this case, and since it's the first one that we are tasting, and it's a sweet profile of flavor, you feel a lot of sweetness. But I'm pretty sure, and if I'm not, please correct me. It's no problem at all. But I'm pretty sure that when we get to 20, you will feel it less sweet, but it's actually more sweet because that's also the effect of having the first rum of the session. As we go to the second and third, everything will be smoother and your tongue is more acclimated, so you will feel more different profiles of flavors.
What about any color additives? Like
Only, yes, we have in storage caramel that's approved by the process. It doesn't add any flavors or sweetness, but we only use it if for some reason the color of the batch is not the same as the batch before. It's just a stabilizer. We are in the aging industry process, and nobody. I mean, I'm very clear about this because since I know the process very closely, I know that nobody can guarantee that each year all the productions will come out with the same color because we're dealing with wood and the wood has different uses. It wears down with each of the use. So, for example, the newest is the barrel. The more color the barrel will add liquid. So when we have the situation in which we finish the process and we see that the tone of the color is not the same as the year before, and then we need to stabilize that, because otherwise you could find a bottle of Centenario 12 with one color and a bottle of Centenario 12 with a different color, and we don't want that. So when it's we use it. So some of the batches has it and some of them not. Every time we export, we need to present that document to the authorities, because in some cases the liquid goes without the coloring, and in some cases it has the coloring. So it depends on how the liquid came out after the aging process.
Okay.
What kind of sugar do you add? It's a raw sugar, it's just sugar, white sugar, or molasses?
No, it's saccharose, and it shows as inverted sugar. So it's not the typical sugar that you can find in the market. It's more like a chemical process, yes. But it's saccharose.
I was working in sugar factory.
Okay, nice. So you know about it.
Yeah. It's very sweet, but it's very tasty also.
Yes, it has great flavor. This one actually goes very good with some profile of cocktails, like an old fashioned. I like to do my own version of the old Cuban. I like to do it with this Centenario 12. It allows us to add a little bit more lime juice, and it will go very smoothly. So,
but the 1885, it's very nice, very tasty.
1985 is one of my favorites, and as you mentioned it, in 1985, something that is very different from the other rums is that the proportion of sugarcane juice and molasses that we use in fermentation, it has more sugarcane juice than molasses. And also, when we heavy rums and the light rums, we use more pot still rums than column still. So you get that different sensation in the liquid. It's more complex than 12 for sure. Any more comments?
Next slide, maybe.
Yes. Let me just share again the screen. Right. So some of the medals that we have for Centenario 12 last year, it was the most recent one. It was in the Tokyo Whiskey and Spirits competition. We get a silver medal last year. And then we moved to 2020 is actually from our portfolio, is the sweetest of the rums, is the one that has more sugar added. It has 9.5 grams of inverted sugar per liter. And we jump into the Solera process. So what I like to say about this is that 20 is like an enhanced version of Centenario 12. So if in Centenario 12 you have sweetness, in this one the sweetness will be a little bit more intense. If we have vanilla, we have more vanilla in this one. But something that it different Centenario 20 from Centenario 12 is that it has a citrus note. It has a very unique orange peel sensation, both in nose and in tasting also. So it's more delicate liquid, more fine liquid, with more body for sure. The smell is also more intense. And in the glass, you will see that it has more thickness, more body. It feels more complex in any way. So it's like an enhanced version of Centenario 12. So please feel free to smell it and taste it, and please let me know if you feel the evolution or you feel it completely different. In my opinion, those two had a very similar profile in nosing and also in tasting. So when you're ready.
I feel more wood here.
You feel more good?
And the citrus flavors, as you said.
Yeah, the citrus.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. It's a very nice orange peel sensation. I describe it as orange peel. I don't know if you describe it the same, but it
There's
has like
vanilla,
this, and also vanilla. Yes.
but less, like in last one.
The smell of these 12 years was sweeter than this.
You feel it sweeter.
No, the 12 was sweeter in the smell.
Yes, yes. You feel it. You feel the
taste-
12.
Uh,
Okay. Let's taste it and let me know. But that's I mean when we do tastings, we try to be very careful, and the reason why we describe the different profiles is that for example, if we had first the 20, uh, I think that the comment will be 20 is more sweet, or it feels more sweet in the nose. Uh, and now you're feeling more sweet, the 12. Please always take into account that the first product in a tasting is the one that gets all the punches, because it's
yeah,
the first
yeah, of
one.
course.
You are not acclimated,
Yeah,
but
of course.
yeah,
Of course.
it's
But
the sacrifice of being the first.
yeah, I feel the deeper taste in this one, and I feel like this one is also less sweet than the first one. Yeah, in the taste
Okay.
also. Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe because of wood, would you feel? Because Miguel told us that this is more sweet added, yeah.
The
This
20.
one, yeah, or
Yeah.
not?
Yes, yes. The 20 is the sweetest of all our rums. Uh, it is the one that has more sugar, is the one that has more sweet profile of flavor. But depending on a lot of details, if you guys have dinner already or not, if you have coffee or not in the afternoon, if you have a chocolate or not, there is a lot of elements that goes around a tasting that can affect the profiles that we are getting from the rum. So 20 is more sweet than 12, but it's not a surprise for me if you guys feel that 12 it feels more sweet. It's pretty normal because it's the first one. Sometimes I do tastings starting on 20, and I see the reactions, and people said this is way too sweet. But then now you're tasting 12 first, and you are saying that 12 feels more sweet. So it depends on a lot of factors. Something that is very curious is that when we do tastings in Centenario to approve a production batch, we are not allowed to eat something 3 hours in advance. We are not allowed brushing our teeth or having coffee, even less having a smoke or something. I mean, we really need to care all the senses on nosing and also in tasting in order to have the perfect experience so we can assess the product. And in this case, I'm pretty sure that uh, those directions were not followed. First, because we didn't ask to. It's not necessary. We're more enjoying the product instead of approving production. But that needs to be taken into account.
And no mint chewing gum.
Yes, no, and not even have cream on your. If you love to use cream on your hands or something, or cologne, or nothing of the sort. Should we move to 25?
Yes.
Okay, so in 25, oh, and very important, Centenario 20 from all our products is the one that has more medals, more international awards, We have more than 20 international awards with Centenario 20, and is the top seller around the world. Is the rum that we sell the most in each of the countries that we are. So we have here Centenario 25. I have here my bottle of Centenario 25. I will show it a little bit when we finish to see this slide. But Centenario 25, it goes very different from the first two. Main reason is because in the first two, we use a Highland cask and a Speyside cask for the aging process. The only difference between 12 and 20 is that in 12, we use 50% of Highland cask and 50% of a Speyside cask. And in 20, we use 80% of the cask from Highlands and the other 20% from Speyside. So it's just a difference of ratio. But in Centenario 25, 70% of the cask are from the lowlands region. So in this liquid, you will feel a lot of freshness. On the smell, you won't feel sweetness at all. You will feel more like green kind of flavors, a little bit more like green apple, some ginger, so it has some spiciness. But in terms of profile, it's very refreshing smell, not on the sweet side. So you get a lot of wood, you get a lot of green fruits, you get a lot of spice, like ginger spice. So the profile of flavor is completely different from Centenario 20. So I will stop sharing so we can see each other. So please let me know if you agree with me in terms of profile of this rum. Just in the entrance, I feel it less sweet, I mean, more green. Something very nice about this liquid also is that it has a semi-dry sensation. So you taste it, and the first sensation that you feel is dryness. And right after you feel the dryness, you feel the sweetness, and you start salivating more. It's a very unique sensation. I mean, it's not dry completely. It's just at the beginning of the taste that you feel the dryness.
It's like sinusoid. It's dryness, sweet, sweet dryness, sweet dryness, sweet dryness.
Yes. It's like a roller coaster.
Yes. And I feel more coconut.
A little bit of dry fruit. Yes. 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 It has creaminess, you know, it is creamy. The dryness and the dry notes makes you identify those profile of flavors like coconut. I feel a lot of ginger in this one. I love to mix this with some sort of ginger, homemade, I don't know, ginger puree or a ginger beer that is homemade, so it don't has a lot of sugar on it. But it's very, very different sensation. When Doña Susana developed this product, she was asked by our distributor in the US, and they were saying, Susana, please make a rum that reminds the consumer a little bit of the whiskey flavor. So when you, for example, when I don't know, sometimes I woke up and I'm like, I want a whiskey. So I don't actually go and have a whiskey. What I do is I have a rock glass and I put some pieces of ice and I pour myself Centenario 25. And as the ice melts and lower down the alcohol level, I start to feeling those whiskey notes present in this liquid.
Whiskey notes and dried grapes.
Yeah. So for example, I have here the Centenario 1985. Look at the level of the liquid. And I have here the 25. So guess what? Guess which is my favorite?
Which bottle is the second? The spare one.
We don't know. Yeah, we don't know how many bottles you have. This one, which has more fuel inside. We don't know how many bottles you drink.
When you open the bottle,
maybe maybe this one on your left hand, you have 6, 12 bottles. Maybe this one on your right hand, you have only one. That's why, you know.
No, 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 no.
You never know.
No. I actually I have more bottles of the 1985 because I don't drink it that much. The 25 I is my favorite one, so I drink it a lot. But
Miguel,
yeah,
you had a
yes,
chance to try these rums before you add water in it. Try
yes,
water.
yes.
And
It's
one more question before you answer.
yes.
When we will try this one?
I will carry with me some a bottle for the Rumfest in Poland.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, it is a 63 alcohol percent.
Perfect.
And it's only pot still. It's heavy rum. Uh,
Perfect. Perfect.
I,
Take two.
I'm no, my pleasure. What one of the perks of being best friends with the aging manager, his name is Jeremy, is that when I need to do Falernum, he always pours some rum out of the cask for me. Uh, so I will take, and I think I still have a bottle of light rum. That one is at 72%. Um, those are like special rare things that they keep in the aging cellar, not for sale, more for like experimentation process. So yeah, it's very 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 interesting. And I will carry with me. Actually, Susa, she asked me. She says people will appreciate if you bring something that is not like for sale. It's more like a rare kind of thing. And I said, okay, perfect. I will bring with me a bottle of Falernum made with rum out of the cask, and also sample of the high proof rum without dilution. And now that you mentioned, I think I have a little bit of column still. But yes, I have tried that. Sometimes when we got lucky and there's movement in the agent cellar, we go and we pour rum out of the cask. We take with us the tasting glasses and we taste the product just to see the different sensations. Is an amazing experience because the alcohol level uh, brings you more aromas, and your tongue reacts super different. So yeah, it's something unique. Something unique. Yeah, we have
Please.
last year we had all the distributors from around the world. We had them at Centenario, and we actually opened a cask for them. I think it was an 18-year-old cask that we opened for them to try. We every 3 years or so we do a summit in Costa Rica. So we bring distributors from all around the world to go to the facilities and see how everything is made, and also to have a taste of Costa Rica. And last year we had the last one, and we opened a bottle. I think it was an 18-year old cask that we opened for them.
Okay, and when is the next meeting?
I think it's 2026. I think.
Okay, no problem.
Yes.
I will wait.
Perfect.
Let's talk about it.
Perfect. Perfect. And now we move to Centenario 30. See. So with Centenario 30, I
So
will show. Yes,
what about 1985? You drink already? Or
No.
they miss it?
I would prefer the 30 because 1985 has a different profile of flavor. So I don't want to mess that up. Centenario 30 is still on the regular family of products, so it's better to have first the 30.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so 30 is one of the most elegant liquids that I have tried in my life. In this liquid, you will have the sensation that you are actually tasting cognac a lot of wood notes, some chocolate notes, ripe breadfruit, very ripe, very woody, super creamy. This is like the most creamy liquid that we have, with a lot of complexity. It's very silky. When you taste it, it goes down beautifully to your throat. It doesn't burn. You barely feel the alcohol level, and it's so complex that you have spiciness, you have sweetness, you have bitterness. It's almost like the umami sensation. The only thing that you don't get is the saltiness, but you feel a little bit of like tobacco notes. It's not smoky, but it's more like burn sensation, the wood burn sensation. Super interesting. So please feel free. I will stop sharing so I can show you some details about the bottle and the case. This is the new case for Centenario 30. And in the front, we have Braille language for blind people, so they can actually understand what the box is saying. And then you open the box and you have this beautiful painting about our facilities, the volcano that is very close to the distillation process, Doña Susana tasting the rum surrounded by nature. Also, the bottle has braille language. So that's part of the inclusion process that we are in. So a blind person will be able to read that it says Ron Centenario 30. Uh, and it's just a beautiful bottle, very elegant, something to use, I don't know, for a very special gift, for Christmas or special occasions, birthdays, stuff like that. Um, and it's a liquid that only has gold medals. When we entering a competition and we use Centenario 30, we're very selective of which competitions are we in with this product, but it always won uh, gold medals or double gold medals. The last one was last year in Tokyo. We had a double gold medal in the Tokyo Whiskey and Spirits competition. So please share with me what you think.
My opinion is well deserved. I remember it was uh, 6, 7, maybe more year ago that this Centenario 50 was first or one of the first, the most expensive rams I bought.
Okay.
I paid a lot of money for this, and I remember that when I opened it, I was happy. I was, I thought that okay, I paid a lot of money. It was 6, 7 years ago. My palate totally different is totally different now. But in that time when I was I usually drink sweetened rums in that time. So this one was the first for me, in which I felt, wow, this is very good. I mean,
Oh,
in
thank you.
taste, in smell. So yeah. So I remember that perfect when I paid my money for this bottle to this guy in the store. So yeah. So now I'm just remembering it. Very good.
Great. I'm very happy for that.
Good to come back. Good to come back.
Yes. I mean, this is such a special liquid. I don't know if Adam or Pio had something to say.
And the profile of this ram is very deep for me. And I'm surprised that I don't feel a lot of sugar. Yeah, it's not so sweet like the three rams. Yeah, I don't like too much sugar in the ram. It's very tasty. In the smell, I feel a lot of tobacco, cigar tobacco.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, you can feel that.
It also surprised me. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Very.
tobacco notes are very strong, yeah, but they are really interesting for me. Like I also don't like sweet rooms, and this is sweet, but it's still so deep and interesting with this wood and tobacco and something different. So it's really nice to find something like this.
Perfect, perfect. I'm glad you're liking it.
A bit of dried fruit also.
Okay, yes.
It's something between whiskey and rum.
To me, I have more whiskey notes on 25, and in this one I have more like cognac notes, but I mean that's depending of each palate. But yeah, it's not sweet. I love how you can feel a spiciness without being very, how can I say this, intense. So it's not like an intense spiciness. It's more like an elegant spiciness. So it's very good liquid.
On the nose, it's similar to some old whiskey, like 25-year-old
Okay.
whiskey from sherry cask, something like this.
Yeah, with finishing sherry cask. Perfect. Okay. Should we move to Real? So that's the special one that I don't have. So I will only share the slide. I don't have it with me, but you please enjoy it. So actually, I mean, you can see the difference on the design. This slide of Centenario Real is super old. It's been 4 years since I use it. But something very interesting to understand about Centenario Real is that it's a select cask reserve. Uh, it contains inside rums that goes only from 15 years to 30 years. So the youngest liquid inside the bottle is 15 years, which is pretty high for a Solera. And the oldest, of course, is 30. In some cases, some of the barrels that we use at the moment, they had 32 and 33 years old. So he's the one that has more oldest rums. In the nose, you will feed a lot of red fruit, almonds with vanilla, dark chocolate, and wood. But then when you taste it, you will feel a lot of chocolate, tobacco, leather sensation, cognac, and spices. So I don't know if you remember that I said that 20 is an enhanced version of 12. Well, in this case, Real is an enhanced version of Centenario 30. So everything that 30 has, this one has more. It's super interesting liquid. Very jealous that I don't have it with me, but please, in this case, you will have to share with me what you are feeling.
Beautiful smell. It smelled like something between the rum and Armagnac or something. A lot
Okay.
of grape notes I feel in the smell.
Okay.
And the color is beautiful.
Yes, yes, it is. It is. Did we lose Christoph or?
No, I am.
Okay.
Some risings.
Christoph is impressed.
You know, sometimes when I do a tasting like this one, um, I'm I when I get some bottles, I sometimes get some bottle I want to share with it. I want to keep it for me, all the bottles, this is my precious, only for me. And this one was exactly makes me the same feeling, I thought, people took from me almost all of the bottles. I have only 20 centiliters,
No.
20 milliliters. So yeah, I have very, very small portion for me. And now I promised to give it to you, so.
No, don't worry, don't worry. Don't. I will ask Susa. I will buy one. Keep that to yourself. Actually, if I buy one, I will give you a portion of mine, so you can
Oh,
have more.
okay, perfect. So yeah, it's very, very nice. Of course, it's sweet, it's normal. I feel rising in rum when, it's very, very deep taste. And yeah.
Perfect. What about Alessandra?
I must say that it's like comfort food among rum. You know what I mean? It's makes you happy.
Yes.
It's sweet, but also like this raisins, so some cake, some chocolate there, and it's not boring. It's sweet but not boring, and this is something I appreciate.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
And
want to say
Adam?
I want to say something if
Yes,
it's possible.
please.
I'm
Of course.
also with the Krzysztof that I feel the rising, inside the explosion of the rising, and it's something incredible that I never feel before with rum degustation. So it's something like good. I want to ask you about the official because I try to find your bottles in the shop somewhere in the internet, and you have an imported to Poland that the availability of these rooms which we try today, it's very, every bottle it's can we buy in Poland, or someone is not availability on our market?
Yeah, let me answer, Miguel.
Yes.
Let me answer.
Yes, of
Yes,
course.
we have an importer in Poland named Spirit Depot, and I don't know, maybe someone from them is on our meeting now. I don't know now, but yes, I think all of these are available in Polish market, but I'm not sure about Ariel. I'm not sure about that one. So yeah, so you can buy it. This is not the problem. And if you have any problem, text me and I'll help.
Okay, thanks. Good room.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, as Christoph said, yes, it is a Spirit Depot. I also not sure if they have Centenario Real. I know that in Europe, it's available, but I'm pretty sure that Spirit Depot can find it, because otherwise we wouldn't choose it for this tasting. So I'm pretty sure it's available.
Yeah, they told me 2 weeks ago that they have the last bottle, the last one. So
okay. Okay.
So yeah, I'll check it and I'll ask him to find if need.
Perfect.
We haven't talked before about the finish, and in this rum I feel the great finish. I feel the taste in my mouth about a minute as I finish the drinking it. It's wonderful. It's deep. A lot of dried fruits on my mouth, and I feel something mysterious, something strange in the taste, because it's in room temperature, and I feel some coldness in the taste. I don't know what is it, but it's very, very cold in taste.
Okay.
Mint.
Yeah,
Mint,
yeah, yeah.
maybe. Yeah.
It's a little bit cold, but for me it's too sweet. I prefer less sweet. This is too sweet for me.
Okay.
But it's good. But I think you have right. The 25, it's good rum.
Let's move to Centenario 1985. And actually, what I'm going to do with Centenario 1985, since I'm sharing my screen, let me just escape here. So we have the Zoom link, and I'm going to enter our website, centenario.com, so you can see it. So in centenario.com, this is our website. I mean, you can choose here. We only have for the moment only 3 languages, French, Spanish, and English. Maybe in the future we will have Polish. But then if you go to our rums, you can see all of our products, and I'm going down to the special editions. So we have here Centenario 1985. The reason why I'm doing this is because since it's not a product that is always available to the market, I don't have it as a slide. But if you go to the nose, you will see a square showing the nosing notes. So in Centenario 1985, we will find coffee notes, vanilla, wood, and dry fruit. This is a special product, but because we only use ex-lowland cask for the aging process. So this is basically a single cask rum using only lowland cask. As I mentioned before, in fermentation, we use more sugarcane than molasses, and in distillation, we use more pot still than column still. So it's very different profile of liquid if you compare it with the other rums that we have tried before. It has more funky notes. It reminds you a little bit like agricole whiskey, agricole rum, sorry. Those notes of the sugarcane juice. In terms of ABV, is 43%, while the others are only 40%. So it has 3 more degrees of alcohol. So that brings a little bit more of nosing, of course. And then in flavor, we have creaminess, roasted coffee notes, dry fruit stand out, and a finish of vanilla and oak. So very complex, and I leave it to last because the profile of flavor is very different from the other rums that we tried before. So I'm open to hear some comments.
For me, it's coffee explosion in the beginning. Coffee,
Yes.
much more coffee than the other ones.
Yes, a lot of coffee notes in this one.
Coffee, chocolate, some dry fruits.
But I would say also very, very woody and very floral, I would say. Like you can taste the earth in it, in my opinion as well.
Those are the lowland cask, getting into the liquid.
A lot of coffee in the taste also.
Great. Yes, a lot of coffee.
You're right. This is totally different than the other ones.
Yeah, totally different.
That's why I prefer this one for the last one of the session, because you can mess it up the palate a little bit. It's very, very different.
It's interesting. Good.
Perfect. So I think that was it on the official session, unless everybody has more questions.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Okay, because you told that 20 and 25 are making the solar system. The other, you didn't told us that also are making solar system, or how the product, you know, look at this, for example.
Yes. Yeah. So for Solera is for 20, 25, 30 also, and Real also. The thing is that Real, we don't produce it anymore. 1985 is a special edition. It doesn't have any age statement. So it's a traditional aging. What people in the aging cellar told me is that this liquid is around 8 and 10 years. So it has quite a few years of aging. And then from 4 years to 12 years is just traditional aging process. So you have 4 years, yeah, we have 5, we have 7, 9, and 12. But for solar system is only 20, 25, 30, and Real, but we don't produce Real anymore. And Real was from 15 to 30 years. Centenario 30 is from 10 to 30 years. Centenario 25 is a Solera from 8 to 25 years. And Centenario 20 is a Solera that starts in 6 years and end up in 20 years.
Okay, thanks. I want to ask you also about the barrel, because I know that there are problems with the barrel, and you still you know, import the barrel from the Scotland to your country.
Yes, and when we were bottling a Scotch whiskey back in 1979, the distilleries from we received the cask were the Chivas distilleries. When Seagrams disintegrated, those distilleries went to Pernod Ricard. And in that moment, in the 90s, we negotiated with Pernod Ricard to keep the portfolio. So now we represent in Costa Rica Pernod Ricard, and we get the barrels exactly from the same source that we used to get it in 1979. So it's the same provider of barrels. They're the same supplier. So.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
So, guys, do you have any more questions during our official part of meeting? Anyone? No? Okay. So, Miguel, let me say some words to our Polish guys who are watching us on Facebook or YouTube. So give me a second. Let me
Of course.
Let me say bye to them. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. and bye.
Most of us, yeah.
Thank you.
For
Muchas gracias.
the second
Con
part.
mucho gusto.
Dobrze, kochani, słuchajcie, bardzo dziękuję. Tak jak mówiłem wcześniej, teraz Miguel poproszony, dosyć ciężko przyjął tę prośbę, będzie chciał podzielić się z nami materiałami, jak wygląda ta dystylarnia od kuchni, natomiast w związku z tym, że te zdjęcia, z tego co się orientuję, to będą tylko zdjęcia, nie przeszły autoryzacji rządowej, to nie może publikować, nie może dzielić się tym publicznie, tak?
Wyłączyłeś już nagranie?
Na ten moment.
Nie, jeszcze nie, leci cały czas, musi zrobić offline.
Nagranie musimy zakończyć i też musimy zakończyć streamowanie, więc dziękuję Wam. Wydaje mi się, tak jak jeśli dobrze zrozumiałem, Miguel będzie na pewno na Rumlow Festival w tym roku. Z tego co się orientuję, będzie miał swojego masterclassa.
Tak.
A jak mówiłem z nim parę dni temu w Paryżu, to mówi, że na masterclassach od czasu do czasu dzieli się tymi zdjęciami, natomiast wtedy prosi, żeby nikt nie robił zdjęć, nikt nie nagrywał, więc jest szansa, że ktoś jeszcze z Was będzie mógł...
Mnie bardziej interesuje, czy się podzieli tą butelką, co przywiezie.
Nie, ja zabieram całą, tu nie ma w ogóle.
Uh,
Ja będę rozdzielał tę butelkę. Albo organizator festiwalu, wiesz, to on ma prawo pierwszej noty w tym konkretnym przypadku, nie? No, także żegnamy internautów, a przechodzimy do drugiej części spotkania. Dajcie mi tylko tutaj się ogarnąć. Gdzie mamy tutaj to? Pyk.
Bożeż ty mój z planów, że do 21.
Tak, zawsze się rozjeżdża, słuchaj, zawsze się rozjeżdża. To
Eee,
jest klasyka już. Czekaj, tutaj jeszcze nagrywanko. A, gdzie to nagrywanko jest? Chyba to myślę, że